episode of The Crossover with your hosts, Ravi and Brian. This is the last episode for the regular season. Then we go into playoff mode. And you know what, Ravi, what you got to say to the people about that, man?
Hey, like good old JR would say, business is about to pick up, Brian.
Oh, old JR, boy. One of my favorite phrases from JR. Anyhow, let's get into what we came to discuss. It's going to be short and sweet. It's all about Westbrook, all about Furious Style, my man Russ. So, you know, it's never a dull moment with Westbrook. So on Sunday, battling for a playoff spot, the Pacers and the Thunder went at it in, I was almost going to say the Market Square Arena. You know,
hey, that's taking it
old
way
school
back.
for you kids at home, man. You know, the Field House in this case, Conseco. But, you know, great stadium, by the way. I've been there for a concert. Pretty nice place, man. I see you, Floyd. I see you, Fabian. But for the Pacers, you know, fighting for a spot, PG-13's back. He looks pretty good so far coming back. They've limited his minutes, but it's good to see him back on the court. Just before we get into Westbrook, your thoughts on PG-13 being back?
No, I'm glad they're limiting his minutes, with his first few games back. I'm surprised they brought him back, given that the Pacers, no one really expects them to really contend for a championship this year. So it's definitely surprising that they choose to bring him back this late in the year. He got some extra rest going into the season next year, but he looks good in limited minutes so far. So hopefully he stays healthy and we see him at full strength next season.
Right. Well, let's get into what happened then. Under 6 minutes left to go in the fourth. I think Oklahoma City was down 5. Pacers ball. George Hill, so he's trying to do a little, set up a little pit here with Scola, and Russell Westbrook kind of runs in the Scola. Not really a series. He's trying to I think he's trying to embellish it a little bit to try to get the call because he wasn't running directly into him. He's trying to squeeze up and make it look like if Scola gave him a hip check. Fair enough. They called the foul on Westbrook. I think it was the right call. Westbrook doesn't like he gets up. He doesn't get up too animated, actually, because when I first heard about it, I thought, he wilded out. He's all up in, I think it's Ed Malloy, who is the person of interest as far as the referees go. And Ed Malloy is always in the middle of something, let's put it that way. The Levitar show always recalls one game against the Timberwolves where the Timberwolves announcer almost seems like he's going to bust a gut when it's at the end of the game and Malloy makes some controversial call. He's like, he's quiet. He goes, "Oh, Ed Malloy," just fuming. So Ed Malloy's had his moments. Let's put it in the spotlight. So here he is in one of his moments again. Westbrook gets up, starts talking to him, complaining about what was going on a little bit. Honestly, it was something you see on every call as far as the communication back and forth. At least I felt so. I don't know. All of a sudden he got in there and he got like your boy there. Quick whistle man there.
Who's that? Hugh Hollins?
No, Joey Crawford.
Joe Crawford? Okay.
There's another one. Steve Javies, who I'm thinking of, is the famous quick whistle dude.
Well, hey,
all of a sudden he's like whistle T. I'm like, technical? Like what? Like I've seen dudes do worse than that in a preseason game. Like I was shocked. And consider the ramifications that Westbrook was on the brink of getting the last technical before he had to get suspended one game. I'm sure the referees have an idea who has what situation going into these games, how the NBA is. I doubt they don't know. I think in this case, I'm just going to say it straight, man. I'm glad that the NBA. Is that Kim again?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, folks. So we go have to edit that out. Yeah. So I'm glad they rescinded because it was very important that that you want to see the players resolve something like this. A playoff spot is up in the air. I mean, Oklahoma City's hanging on by a thread because they don't have the tiebreaker. My understanding is with New Orleans, so
they don't know.
Yeah, so they need to win straight out. So any loss of Westbrook for either the next 2 games was pretty much putting a stake in and they would have been done. Your thoughts on it, man?
Now, I think just looking at the play, it didn't look like anything out of the ordinary. Again, this looks like a regular foul. Player gets up, he says what he says to the ref. Now, the question is, what did he say to the ref? Because I can't see an NBA official giving a tech off just looking at what he did, because there was nothing egregious, there was nothing really blatant. He wasn't animated by any stretch. So I think I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out if he actually said something that we couldn't obviously hear or we're not privy to.
Right.
But to your point, just looking at that, I'm glad they rescinded it as well. And I don't want any excuses from these OKC fans when they don't make the playoffs this year.
You know it's coming.
I don't want
to. Thunder fans always can find an excuse, man. You know it's coming. That's why in this case the players are so coddled in this case for the.
Let me tell you something. That was the big. When I saw that, I think it was this morning that they rescinded that technical foul. Man, I was like, thank you. Let the guys play it out.
Play it out, man. Especially on that. Like, I hear your point, what he said, but based on what I saw from Westbrook's reaction, I don't think he said anything that wouldn't be normally said in any other situation. Because he seemed almost as shocked as I guess he seemed just as shocked as anybody else. He's like, whoa, what? You kidding me? And he was quite aware of how many technicals he had because he immediately said, like, yo, come on, man. Like, you can't be doing this to me. Like, so.
Well, my first reaction was when I heard he got teed up and he's possibly suspended for the next game. I was like, this guy can't be serious. I mean, he must be aware of how much text he has.
Yeah, you think it's like some combustible moment he goes off on the referee where he's like up in the guy's face, but when you watch, it's like
when you watch it's nothing to even like talk about. To be quite honest, just looking at it.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm glad they rescinded that technical foul and let the guys play it out. And OKC, no excuses.
Exactly.
No excuses.
I don't know. By the time we post this, things might be settled. But who do you think is going to make the playoffs? Between the two of them,
I think the Hornets.
Hornets, okay.
Yeah.
I think so. Now I think in this case the Ibaka lost.
What am I saying? The Pelicans.
Yeah.
Man.
New Orleans. And put that in the fine jar in this case here, man. We made it almost a whole year without messing around. Then we're Charlotte. You got through
boy.
it.
Yes. And I put $5 in the jar there, Brian.
Exactly. But, oh boy, Raptors here they're down by 2 here with 35 seconds left to go. But we'll see. I think the Pelicans are going to get through because the Ibaka loss is too much right now for them to deal with. They have no defensive resistance. Moving on from that point, in the East, who do you think is making it right now? Right now, it seems like one of the teams are going to be for sure a lock in a few seconds.
Well, that's, who had I think Indiana has the 8th spot right now?
Essentially, you get Boston, Brooklyn, Indiana. So 2 of those 3 are going to make it.
Ooh. I think I'm gonna go with you know what? I'm gonna go with Boston, Indiana.
I honestly hope that's the 2.
Yeah.
Because I really don't want to see Brooklyn.
No, I don't want to see Brooklyn. Really don't. I mean, like watching Brooklyn play, it's like
it's like watching paint dry. Like, I mean, is there any team
I don't think I
worse
watched
that
a
you
Brooklyn
don't?
game all year.
Yeah. I watched them play the Raptors a week or 2 ago, man.
I mean the All-Star game doesn't count. I mean, what?
They didn't play the game the All-Star game. They played at Madison Square Garden, so even then you still didn't watch it. Unless you're watching the rookie game or something. It's like, just no atmosphere. Just a lot of meh players or dislikable players. It's just like, ugh. So I really, the Pacers would be an interesting story that they fought all the way back. Seeing George kind of develop through the playoffs would be an intriguing matchup against, especially against if they get Atlanta.
Yeah.
So it's a fascinating matchup, complete opposite. So I'd be curious to see that. Yeah, Brooklyn just put him out the pasture, man. Just and just be done with them, man. I'm just tired of these dudes, man. Just tired of them. Anyways, man, let's wrap it up on this note here, man. We got a lot of stuff coming down the pike in the next few weeks. Of course, playoff times we mentioned. You're going to see Ravi and I just in your living room, in your family room, heck, just all over the place in this case the next few weeks. When it comes to hoops, we're going to do a breakdown of the first round, Eastern Conference, Western Conference. We're going to try to go and record that to Thursday night once everything's settled with everybody. All the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted and everything like that. We're going to find out who's in, who's out, who's got home court, who's playing whom, what the seedings are for each side. Because, it's coming right down the last day, it looks like, for everything, man. It's crazy. So
I don't recall a season like this in recent memory where, literally 8 through, I would say, 5 for the most part. And in both conferences, they're just really up for grabs on the very last night of the season.
I think at this point, we don't know exactly one matchup yet.
Not yet, because we were just speaking offline.
Yeah.
A week ago, the Spurs were fifth or sixth, and now they're second place
Right.
on the West. So
Exactly.
that type of movement just shows.
Right.
It'll be interesting tomorrow night to see what the final standings are.
Exactly, man. Anyways, folks, man, Ravi, where can the good folks find you as usual?
At Mr. Ravi _ Porvita.
Okay, and you can find me at Beyond Locker Room, short for RM, man. So keep up the support, folks. Keep commenting, keep liking us, keep following us, man. We'll talk to you in a few days.
In a couple days.
Exactly.
Game time, baby.
That's right, man. Peace.